What's up, party people? This is Tarkus Jude Mossberg here from Facebook. Jude's Junk Facebook comic book shop YouTube channel. We got a little thunderstorm going on here, almost June 1st in Idaho. Rust on staples, comic book staples. So I'm all about taking a comic book, pressing it, cleaning it, getting a signature, adding value to it. Now, I'm not really good at the restoration. I always use a third party for that. But if you got a 1.0 with a rip cover, you just send it into your presser and he puts archival tape on it and it gets a 2.0. If you didn't know that, it can maintain a blue label up to a 2.0. But the archival tape will keep that loose cover from moving around. So it'll bump it up from a 1 to a 2 just by having your presser put tape on it. I learned that by getting a Giant Size X-Men #1. The cover was completely removed, had it taped up, got it signed by Claremont. Much cheaper to sign, to grade a book with the signature series because there's a loophole. There's not the extra amount for pressing. There's not the extra fee for pre-1975. There's not the extra fee for magazine size. So if you can get a signature on a magazine size TMNT, not only will it increase the value of the book, but it'll be cheaper to grade it. Note to self, secret. So, rust on staples, I've come across this, probably books that I've sent in to get graded. Probably my presser telling me there's some rust in the staples. And I've heard some people say they can switch out the staples. That is called conserved or restored. If you get caught, you have to use the same year staples. If there's rust on the staples, the rust on the staples gets on the paper. So if they open it up and see where there used to be, where there's rust on the paper, but you have brand new shiny staples in there, you're gonna get the purple label. So what's gonna be better? The rust, someone just mentioned they got a 7.0 because there was rust in the staples. So what's better, a 7.0 with rust or a 9.0 qualified? Not qualified, that's green, restored, purple. You'd have to do the math to figure that out. You'd have to get GPA, sign up for a subscription, find out what book you're looking at, and if the lower grade you get. Now, I'm not an expert. I don't know how much lower you'll get for rusted staples, but there is no easy way to fix them. Typically, if there's rust on the staples, it's somehow going to be on the book. So if they see that there's rust on the book with shiny new 1969 staples on it, I don't know how you get shiny new, but you get those staples on there. So whenever you're buying raw, this is another reason why I don't like buying raw, especially big books, especially older books. You can take all the pictures you want on social media, front, back, and the corners. If you're not opening it up and looking at that centerfold where those staples are to look if there's rust, it's your gamble. And there's people that will crack a qualified book just to sell it raw and rip you off if you're not paying attention. Now, in some environments, you might be able to get the book and say, oh, not as described, eBay, and get your money back. Sure, it's just a pain and it's a hassle, and he's just going to go rip off somebody else. So, older Silver Age books, I'm not a big fan of buying them raw because so many things can go wrong. Foxing, light foxing that you might not be able to tell with the eye if it's on a black. Some of the gloss could be rubbed off. Anyways, if you got rust on the book, get rid of it and get a new book. If you got mold in the book, get rid of it and get a new book. Mold spreads. Don't let that raw molded book get in your collection. I don't even know if I'd want an encased book that looked like it had water damage and mold on it in my collection. Mold is just, you can have a bowl full of apples and one of them's moldy, or a bowl full of strawberries and one of them's moldy, and you think you just take out the moldy one and all the rest are okay. It doesn't work like that. Mold spores spread. So if you got mold in a box of comics, it's possible that it's now growing on all those comic books. So sorry that you found mold on it. That is a bummer. I found a fingerprint on the back of my Crow 1 that I got signed by Joe Barr back in the early 90s. First print. Fingerprint, probably from one of my greasy fingers because I was looking at it or reading it. maybe eating chicken as a 12-year-old, maybe a 20-year-old, I don't know, probably closer to 20 than 12. And I sent it in to get pressed and cleaned. He pressed and cleaned it, and I got dinged. I got a 9.0. It would have been a 9.4, 9.6 easily, but I got a 9.0, and it was just a big fingerprint on the black on the back. And he said there was nothing he could do to get it off. Now, I wasn't told that there was a fingerprint, but even if I was told, I probably still would have had it graded because I wanted to move it. But yeah, fingerprints don't just come off if they're old. And that acid from whatever was on your finger from 1980 was now in a bag, and it's been sitting there burning an imprint in that comic book for the last 30 years. You're out of luck. So if someone tries to sell you one with a fingerprint and say, oh, just get it cleaned. No, you go get it cleaned and then we'll talk. Anyways, happy hunting, guys.